You were born into a world brimming with possibility, your spirit alight with curiosity and wonder. As a child, you didn't question your right to dream big or revel in the moment. Life was an open canvas, and you painted it with fearless strokes. But somewhere along the way, the world dimmed your colors. You were taught to tread carefully, to expect a catch behind every joy, to brace for a reckoning if you dared to shine too brightly. They called it karma, a looming force that supposedly tallies your every move, ready to balance your happiness with hardship. But what if everything you've been told about karma is a misunderstanding? What if karma isn't a cosmic debt collector but a gentle guide, illuminating your path to growth? Today, we're peeling back the layers of this misunderstood concept, revealing karma not as a source of fear but as a map to your soul's evolution. This journey is about breaking free from the myth of punishment and embracing a life where joy, love, and dreams are your birthright. If you're here, you're ready to see karma in a new light, and to step into a reality where you create, not cower. As a young soul, you saw the world as a vast playground, where every moment sparkled with potential. You chased dreams without doubt, laughed without restraint, and trusted life to unfold in your favor. But the adults around you, shaped by their own fears, began to rewrite your story. Don't get carried away, they'd warn, their voices tinged with caution. Too much happiness invites trouble. Through family sayings, cultural norms, and subtle warnings, a seed was planted: joy is risky. If life feels good, expect the other shoe to drop. This wasn't just advice, it was a program, embedding a deep-seated fear that happiness comes with a price. This conditioning wasn't accidental, it's a mechanism of control. A person who fears joy is easier to steer, less likely to question, more willing to conform. You were taught to live on edge, to temper your laughter, to shrink your dreams, to love with caution. The concept of karma was twisted into a tool to reinforce this fear, a cosmic enforcer watching your every step, ready to punish you for daring to thrive. Life keeps score, they said, convincing you that every smile must be paid for with struggle. But this is a distortion, a lie designed to keep you small. The truth about karma is far more liberating. It's not here to chain you, but to guide you toward your truest self. Imagine this fear as a veil draped over your spirit, dimming the vibrant world you once knew. Each warning, "Don't tempt fate" or "Prepare for the worst," was a thread, weaving a barrier between you and your natural state of trust. You began to live half-heartedly, rationing your joy, guarding your heart, always waiting for the inevitable fallout. The Matrix doesn't need to lock you in a cell, it convinces you to build your own, teaching you that safety lies in restraint. But beneath that veil, your soul still burns, yearning for a life unshadowed by dread. Forget the myths of karma as a vengeful force, a judge handing down sentences for your missteps. Karma isn't a courtroom, it's a mirror, reflecting the choices, experiences, and lessons your soul has carried through time. It's not about punishment, it's about growth. Karma is the echo of your past actions, not to haunt you, but to show you where you're stuck and where you can expand. It's the memory of your soul's journey, offering chances to resolve old patterns, heal wounds, and step into wisdom. When challenges arise, a conflict, a loss, a failure, they're not penalties for past joys, they're signposts, pointing to lessons your soul chose to learn. Picture karma as a wise companion, walking beside you on a winding path. It doesn't scold you for straying, it nudges you back to center. That recurring argument with a loved one. It's not a curse, it's a lesson in communication or self-respect. That setback at work. It's not retribution, it's an invitation to rethink your priorities. Karma doesn't say, "You were happy, so now you pay." It says, "Here's where you're not yet free. Let's grow through this. When you see challenges as teachers, not threats, they lose their power to frighten. Karma becomes a partner, guiding you toward clarity and strength. This redefinition is transformative. The Matrix wants you to fear karma, to see it as a debt you can never repay. But karma is your ally, illuminating the shadows of your unresolved lessons. It doesn't punish you for laughing too loud or dreaming too big, it surfaces where your soul needs healing. Embrace this, and you stop living in fear. You become a student of your own journey, learning from each experience, crafting a life that's vibrant, not restrained. To deepen this, envision karma as a tapestry, woven from the threads of your soul's experiences across lifetimes. Each challenge is a stitch, not a tear, adding depth to the pattern. A betrayal might reflect an old wound, asking you to forgive. A failure might echo a past hesitation, urging you to act with courage. By facing these moments with awareness, you weave a richer, freer design, turning the tapestry of your life into a masterpiece of growth. Karma doesn't bind you, it invites you to create. Your reality isn't a fixed stage, it's a canvas, painted by your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. When you live in fear, expecting trouble, you draw it to you. Not because the universe is cruel, but because your energy shapes what you see. Fear is a brushstroke, coloring your world with shadows. If you dread betrayal, you act guarded, pushing away connection and inviting the isolation you fear. If you expect failure, you hesitate, missing chances that confirm your doubt. You sigh, "I saw it coming," not realizing you helped paint the scene. Your inner script, your fears, your focus, becomes the outline for your life. This isn't mysticism, it's how your mind works. Your perception filters reality, seeking evidence for what you believe. Expect disaster, and you'll notice every risk, every flaw, every closed door. Your actions follow, shaped by caution, pulling you into the outcomes you dreaded. But shift the script, and the canvas changes. Choose trust, and you see openings, kind gestures, unexpected solutions. Choose possibility, and opportunities align. The world doesn't judge you, it mirrors you. When you expect light, you paint a brighter picture. This power is quiet but immense. You don't need to control every detail, just your perspective. Stop bracing for pain, start welcoming growth. It's not about ignoring life's challenges, it's about refusing to let fear draw the lines. By choosing faith over dread, you create a reality that feels alive, not oppressive, a canvas where joy and love can flourish without fear of a price. Expanding on this, think of your mind as a garden. Fear plants weeds, choking out possibility with doubts and expectations of loss. Trust plants seeds, nurturing blooms of connection and opportunity. You might notice it in small moments, expecting a conversation to go poorly, and it does, or approaching a challenge with hope, and watching it unfold smoothly. These are your garden's responses to what you cultivate. By tending to trust, curiosity, and openness, you grow a reality that reflects your light, not your shadows. The fear of happiness isn't natural, it's learned. From childhood, you were taught to temper your joy, to see it as a fleeting gift that invites trouble. Don't get too excited, they said, or you'll be disappointed. This wasn't wisdom, it was a script designed to keep you cautious and controllable. But you can rewrite it. The first step is awareness. When joy rises and anxiety follows, pause. Ask, why am I bracing for pain? Whose voice is telling me to fear? Is happiness really a debt? These questions expose the program for what it is, a foreign code, not your truth. Breaking free means choosing to live unapologetically. You're allowed to laugh fully, dream boldly, love deeply, without expecting a catch. This isn't naivety, it's courage, a rebellion against a system that thrives on your restraint. When you choose trust over fear, you send a new signal to the universe: I'm ready for light. The Matrix responds, not with guarantees, but with possibilities, people who uplift, moments that inspire, paths that open. You're not defying reality, you're shaping it, creating a world where joy is a right, not a risk. This shift is an act of power. It's not about ignoring life's challenges but refusing to let fear define them. Each time you embrace happiness without dread, you weaken the old script. You become a creator, painting a life that reflects your truth, not your conditioning. The world mirrors this change, bringing experiences that align with your new vibration. To explore further, imagine fear as a rusty lock on a gate, keeping you from a vibrant garden. Each time you question it, choosing joy, trusting love, you oil the lock, loosening its grip. You might feel it in a moment of laughter, when fear whispers, "This won't last." Pause, challenge it, stay open. Over time, the lock falls away, and you step into a reality where joy flows freely. You're not just surviving, you're thriving, cultivating a life that blooms with possibility. Karma isn't your jailer, it's your guide. It's not a tally of sins but a light on your soul's path, showing where you're stuck and where you can grow. Every challenge, a conflict, a loss, a mistake, is a lesson, not a punishment. That repeated struggle with a friend, it's teaching you boundaries. That career setback, it's nudging you toward purpose. Karma doesn't care if you laugh too loud or love too fiercely. It surfaces where your soul needs healing, where old patterns linger. It's a lantern, illuminating the shadows of fear, resentment, or doubt so you can release them. When you approach these lessons with awareness, karma transforms. Forgive a past hurt, and the cycle of betrayal fades. Stand up for yourself, and the pattern of disrespect dissolves. Each lesson you embrace brings you closer to freedom, not judgment. Happiness is your natural state, not a debt to be repaid. Karma doesn't punish you for joy, it guides you to a happiness built on truth, not fear. When you see it this way, challenges become opportunities, and karma becomes a partner in your evolution. This perspective is like seeing karma as a compass, pointing you toward your truest north. A difficult moment isn't a penalty, it's a direction, asking, what can you learn here? How can you grow? A recurring argument might signal an unhealed wound, a failure might reveal a fear to release. By facing these with curiosity, you follow the compass, navigating toward a life of clarity and strength. Karma doesn't hold you back, it lights the way forward. True freedom isn't just about choice, it's about claiming your right to be happy, now, without fear of a price. The Matrix wants you to believe joy is a loan, that karma will demand repayment. But the truth is radiant, you're meant to love, dream, and live fully. You don't need to earn happiness or prove your worth. You're a spark of the universe, here to learn, grow, and shine. Every time you choose trust over fear, joy over caution, you rewrite the code. You step out of the cage of expectation and into a reality that reflects your light. This freedom begins with a single choice: I'm done expecting disaster. I choose to shine. It's not blind optimism, it's a bold act of faith, a defiance of the fear-based system. The Matrix responds, mirroring your courage with connections that uplift, moments that inspire, a life that feels alive. You're not just living, you're creating, flowing, being. Your presence, your choices, are part of a greater awakening, building a world where fear fades and truth rises. Thank you for being here, for questioning, for daring to shine. You're not just watching, you're weaving a new reality. Your courage is already changing the world. Keep trusting, keep creating, keep becoming.